That started as an excuse to get to warmer weather in the winter has spawned decades of competition and tradition, and today, once again, these two will square off to find out who will take home the coveted jeweled shillelagh. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the home of the USC Trojans, the storied Los Angeles Coliseum. As we'll see the number 5 team in the country, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, taking on the 12th ranked team in the land, the USC Trojans. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, David Pollack, and Jesse Palmer with me. Guys, it's time to get it going. by the defense. It's the first one they've used this half. This crowd, full throat, spreading the eardrums and letting them know it's going to be a long day. Trying to turn the corner on the right. This defensive front just ran free in the backfield. He'll lose 3.
That's such a great physical play by the defense because this is one of the bigger, more physical running backs you'll see in the country, and we're used to seeing him push the pile the other direction. Not that time. It's the big guys up front on defense getting penetration, and they're sending him back for a tackle for loss.
A negative play to open the drive. Let's see what they've got on 2nd and 14. To the air, it's Knight. Right down the middle. He makes the catch. And he gets it to the 45-yard line, and that'll be a first down. Big play for the Irish there, reminiscent of a Tim Brown or Rocket Ismail.
Yeah, I'm glad you used a reference in the last 30 years, Reese. You know, just trying to find playmakers at Notre Dame, and Michael Mayer, obviously, in the recent years, was a guy that you could really, really depend on. Trying to find those golden Tates.
Oh, he's got some space. Finally corralled, but not before. He picked up the first down.
Well, this offense has shown you it doesn't take a lot of time for them to generate explosive plays through the air. Big completion on the previous play. They take another shot and hit it, and they've completely flipped the field.
Gets the back moving on the option. He'll toss it. There was just nowhere to cut back. Great job by the defense, and he'll have to take the loss.
And I think that time the quarterback made the wrong read. He was trying to pitch it. He didn't have to, though. There was a lot of green grass and space out in front of him. If he just holds onto that football, he might not score a touchdown, but he's definitely going to be able to at least get positive yards. I think that's a play on the option the quarterback would like to have back.
Notre Dame has made this second down play much more difficult after going backwards. Wants to go up top. Unloads to the wideout. Trying to find the end zone. Couldn't quite nudge it in. Not sure you could get much closer, but it'll be 1st and goal.
I know we're a long way up here in the booth, but guys, y'all remember that ball you could throw that whistled? That thing was whistling. It had so many RPMs in it.
Notre Dame has it now, 1st and goal. They'll try to get it in with the run. He's going for the goal line. Into the end zone he goes. Touchdown, Irish!
The coaches always talk about starting fast and taking that opening drive and really setting the tone for the football game, and that is exactly what they did, and they finish it with a good brand of physicality, running the football, ending the drive, and getting off to the 6-0 start.
Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. Here he comes from midway in the end zone. Rolling the dice to bring it out of the end zone did not work out as he stopped at the 13. We thought we might see some of this. They'll go to the Wildcat formation here. Snap to the back. Found a little room out of the Wildcat that time, just short of the 1st down. Deep in the season, that crisp air all around you, and this feels like a must-win game, guys.
This is a game that will impact the college football playoff. It'll have conference championship implications, and it'll have bowl game implications as well. David, so much riding on the line in this one.
And you can feel it, man. You can feel the energy. The players this week, they were on high. Like, you could tell they were ready for the challenge. This is going to be an absolute showdown.
And the Trojans come to the line. This situation, you might see a shot play. Quarterback keeper. All down, but they'll move the sticks as he picks up the first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Running back searching for a hole. He'll push his way out to the 30, a pickup of 3.
And I kind of like how the running back didn't mess around. Like, just get downhill when you see an opening. A lot of times they close so fast, man. Be decisive, stick your foot in the ground, pick up 3 to 4, and we are not going to complain.
Solid pickup of 4 on first down. It's 2nd and 6. Quarterback making adjustments. Looking to pass. It's Fox. Makes the grab on the left. Gets it to the 46-yard line. First down for this offense.
The big fella, the tight end, the wide receiver in a tight end's body going up and making the catch.
The Trojans are on the move. Touch pass on the jet sweep. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. Cross-country rivalry between these old foes. It started because Newt Rockne's wife wanted to go to California late in the season, and the next chapter unfolds today.
That sounds perfect. If my wife wanted to do the same thing I would do. Happy wife, happy life. It's always interesting to hear how these rivalry trophies come about, but I know one thing. USC, Notre Dame, every year caller is appointment television.
It is. My brother Billy played for Notre Dame, and I'll be honest, I used to get jealous watching him play against the Trojans, whether it was at Coliseum or whether it was at Notre Dame. This is one of the best rivalries in all of college football, and one that I wish I could have been a part of.
They couldn't connect on second down, now staring at a 3rd and 9. They want to run this quarterback. Strong belief in this running game as he powers his way ahead and picks up 8. It's 4th and 1. Timeout called here by the defense. It's their first of the half. Boy, if they don't convert this 4th down, there will be questions to be answered. Offense calls a timeout here. Critically important to make sure they have the right play called and everyone on the same page here. Fourth down and 1, and they'll go for it.
Here we go. Okay, ready?
He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. On the run, fires downfield. Makes the catch, converts on 4th down, he's still on his feet. He's at the 10, and he just kept running, and he ran away from the crowd, and he'll take it in. Touchdown, Trojans.
Quarterback's abilities to read the field is huge, and also the anticipation, the time to be able to throw the football, Jesse, and hit a guy in stride so he can get run after the catch and get in the end zone. That was a nice job by the quarterback.
Yeah, it's critical, David. Listen, a lot of times touchdown passes aren't thrown into the end zone. You've got to read the coverage, hit the open guy, and let him do the rest.
And the extra point splits the upright. They're set to kick it off, and this crowd now ready to get behind them. He'll bring it back, looking for help. Excellent job by the kick coverage team. A pretty minimal gain on that return. drive comes from the 14-yard line. Now they'll run it to the right here. Got the first down and more. He picks up the first down, brought down, but not before he put that dude in a blender.
You ain't getting by all these guys right up the middle unless your offensive line and your tight ends and everybody is putting in the work up front, committing to blocking. The running back does a great job finding the hole, exploding through. How about that nice, big, huge gain? If I'm the OC, let's call that one again.
Goes to the option. Plows through the defense. Out to the 36-yard line after gaining 10 on that one.
Well, this is an offense that has a lot of speed, and they have different guys they would love to get the football to in space, and they can find a lot of different ways to do that. I love the idea of going option here and trusting your quarterback to make the right read. If no one accounts for the pitch, man, he's going to get it to the outside, and you see the speed on the perimeter. Really clever play call that time by the O coordinator.
Playing the option, man, consistently playing responsibility football. Nice job by the defense being where they're supposed to be. This option will just keep giving it to you over and over and over again, and you got to pass those tests.
After the productive first down play, it's 2nd and 6. Looking to throw, it's Knight. Makes the catch, it's Williams. They'll get it to the 48, no need to measure it to first down. Notre Dame lines up quickly.
When offenses get first downs like this and they move the sticks and they get some momentum, look at what they do. They put their foot on the gas, run this no huddle, get to the line of scrimmage, and try to capitalize.
He'll go out of bounds inside the 40. They'll mark it at the 39. Looking to throw on first down. Hauls it in. This junior making his presence felt and making the stop after a short gain. Entertaining first quarter, and we are all locked up after one as we take a quick look at some stats. We've got a good one going here and looking forward to keep those vibes rolling here in the second. So second down here as we're back at it after the break. He'll ride his man on the option. All down, but he has enough to move the chains.
Well, I love the variety in the run game you're seeing from this offense. It's not just going to be conventional handoffs. Won't just be the quarterback. But he's making good decisions, pitching at that time. That's the right read, and it's not a huge explosive home run type play, but it is enough to help them pick up the first down.
Notre Dame coming to the line with another first down. Motion from the back. On the move. Stopped in the backfield. He's going to lose 3 yards on the play. Put themselves in a bit of a bind with that last one. It's 2nd and 14. Looking for a man. It's Knight. Quarterback floating away from pressure. Got out of trouble, got rid of it. That one never had a chance. Incomplete.
And how loud is it in this building? This is crazy. These fans are going absolutely nuts. And I used to love when the fans got involved and I'm on defense because it messes with the snap count. It messes with the communication, and it can really rattle an offense.
The offense wastes no time getting the timeout call. Notre Dame comes to the line needing a chunk play on third down. He's looking downfield to throw. Almost intercepted. It'll fall incomplete. The defense almost came up with a turnover.
Those are those opportunities in the game. You got a chance to take points off the board, make a big play, and you just couldn't squeeze the interception. That's one of those plays coaches come back to talk about, say, think if we get this pick and we start taking this the other direction and we take points off of the scoreboard.
So the offense is going to go for it on fourth down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. He'll try to do it himself. He turns this into a nice gain and gets down to avoid the hit.
And this offense, they don't want a field goal. You can tell they want a touchdown. They want points. Fourth down, going for it. And how about the QB, man? How about the poise? Dropping back to throw the football. Nah, it's not open. Nothing there I don't feel comfortable with. But he absolutely pulls the trigger, makes the decision, tucks it, and gets the big fourth down conversion.
They'll knock him down for a loss of a couple.
And that's why he is an All-American caliber player. He is just so physical and dominant against the run. He's able to shed blockers, use his athleticism, use his speed, get to the ball carrier and bring him down. Simply one of the best box defenders you're going to find in the entire country.
Notre Dame has made this second down play much more difficult after going backwards. Looking to throw, it's Knight. Got his man on the right. Now the connection takes it to the 11.
I think this receiver's forte is his route running. He's a guy that can line up all over the field, but it's not just catching post routes and goes. This guy can run shallows, he can run slants, he can run the option routes and find soft spots in the defense. This guy really has all the routes in his toolbox.
Really need to pick up this conversion and avoid having to settle for the field goal. He's looking to throw on third and short. Man, did he pay for it with that hit as he got rid of the ball.
In this offense now, it's decision time, man. They put a nice drive together. You want to walk away with points, but how aggressive do you want to be? Do you want to take this field goal, or do you want to try to get a touchdown?
Notre Dame on fourth. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. And he runs it in for the score. Touchdown, Notre Dame! If you're able to move the ball in a drive like that, the most overrated stat in football would be field position.
Agreed, and I think confidence is big right now after that last drive. To be able to flip the field like that, not just do it, but go down and score a touchdown. Running and throwing, for this offense now moving forward in this game, that last drive is going to pay big dividends.
So many memorable and historic moments in this rivalry, guys. It's almost a century old now. First meeting in 1926.
When you think of all the great coaches that have graced the sidelines in this rivalry, right? Knute Rockne, Eric Parseghian, John Robinson, Pete Carroll. A lot of national championships between these two schools, David.
Lou Holtz, we can keep going on. The uniforms are always strong, always consistent. Fan bases are always so great. This is a game you can set your watch by. You know it'll be great.
Passes to 40. And the explosiveness, the big gainer gets it to the 49-yard line.
For offensive coordinators, you see big runs like this in the first half, man, it gets you excited because it opens up the whole playbook. Everything I have to use. I like all these.
And the Trojans come to the line after ripping off that huge gain on the ground, trying to keep it going. Going with the counter play here. Gets it past the first down marker and still running. And he's run out of bounds just short of the goal line, and they keep him out of the end zone for the moment. The Trojans want to pick up the tempo. They'll use the running game on 1st and goal. And this one will be stopped for no gain. Can the defense stop them again on 2nd and goal? Motion from the wide receiver. Quick touch pass to the receiver. Give him 6. Touchdown USC.
Well, this offense is top 10 in the country in points per game because they've got a lot of speed and they've got home run hitters. They score fast. They don't need 10 plays to go down the field. You saw it right there. They've recruited well. They've got playmakers. They are going to be a problem for defenses all year long.
And he tacks on the extra point. Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Guys, we've got a final from arguably the best rivalry in the sport, the game between Ohio State and Michigan. Ohio State looked dominant in a victory that was never really in question. That offense had zero problem putting up points, not unlike the days of Stroud and Fields and so many greats before them. Always fun to see two of the game's better teams duke it out at this point of the season. A good barometer, fellas, for both coaches.
Yeah, how about that? Sounds as if they had a good ball game there. Kevin, thanks for the update. They've got a little time here to put together a productive drive late in the half. On the option, fighting off the defender. Good, solid run on that one as he gets it up to the 33-yard line.
Just really solid play by this offense. Nice job. Whatever the defense gives you the option, they're trying to make you wrong. The problem is, defensively, you got so much to cover. Nice chunk gain. Just remember, that quarterback can also stick his foot in the ground, get north-south, and make plays, too.
Here's the handoff. And he surges up to the 36-yard line, and they'll move the chain.
You got to have short area quickness. That running back there doing what it takes to make sure he got that first down.
Now from the 36-yard line, it's 1st and 10. They'll send the back in motion. They'll run the option. Oh, there's a loose football on the bad pitch. Recovers the fumble, and he's still going.
Well, ball security doesn't just apply to running backs and receivers. QB's got to keep 2 hands on the ball as well. They're very lucky after that fumble that the offense jumped on.
Notre Dame has made this 2nd down play much more difficult after going backwards. Back to throw, it's Knight. Well, the quarterback can make a big play when he starts moving around. Blasted as he lets it go.
These receivers on these scramble drills are going to have to play with a little bit more urgency because this pass rush is getting after the QB. He was flushed out to the left and wasn't able to complete that throw because of the hit he took.
The Irish facing quite a challenge here on 3rd and a mile. Looking to throw, and he needs a chunk play. Fires to the middle. Another incompletion on 3rd down.
You know, it's funny. That's probably the most discombobulated the offense has looked so far in this game, right? After watching that incompletion there on 3rd down, they were just up and down the field earlier. Tremendous rhythm, tremendous balance. Everything their play caller was dialing up was working, lighting up the scoreboard. All of a sudden, on this last drive, just not able to piece it together. They've got to be able to turn the page and get back to how they looked earlier in the game.
Plenty of time to work, not any time to waste as they take over here in the final 2 minutes of the half. Might be calling a hot route. Off play action on 1st down. Fires to the big fella. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage.
They're able to find the tight end for an easy completion, but good job tackling, not allowing him to get the first down.
So now it's 2nd and long. Looking to fire. Unloads it left. Put it where only his man could get it and gave him enough room to get the foot down.
How nice is it in this offense to have your best receiver playing in the slot? You're matching him up against linebackers, against safeties, or nickel corners. Nickel corners are oftentimes the defense's 3rd best cornerback. This guy is virtually uncoverable.
Back to throw, it's Fox. Now he's going to break the pocket. And with not much doing downfield, he found his parents open in the stands and threw it to them.
And that goes down as incompletion, but that's a smart play. And the QB coach and the OC will be very happy with the decision of the quarterback. He got outside the pocket. He obviously was so he's outside the tackle boxes. He knew he could throw it away as long as he got it past the line of scrimmage. Nothing there, nothing open. Live to fight another down.
Design run for the quarterback.
You know, this offensive line, they just got to hold their blocks a little bit longer. This offense likes to run their quarterback on design plays. And if you can just give him a little crease, he can take it the distance, but they couldn't get it done there.
Now facing a 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Always a welcome play for the defense as they get a sack at the 47. The defense going to stop the clock with a timeout. They want to make sure they have everybody on the same page. And the Trojans will call on their punt team. This will be their first punt of the afternoon. And the punt team gets down there and touches it dead. That's where they'll put it in play.
Dude, how about that boom? I mean, you talk about power. That dude just booted that thing halfway across the field, completely flipping the field position and getting it down inside the 10. That is a nice job by that punter.
We'll see them really hit the speed button on the tempo here in the final minute of the first half. And a pickup of 8 opens a world of opportunities on 2nd and 2.
You love to see this on offense. Early in drives, getting that kind of yardage keeps you ahead of the chains.
Listen to this crowd just shaking the girders of this place, trying to help their defense. Toss to the outside. Stopped in the backfield. He's going to lose 3 yards on the play.
And that's exactly what you want to do as a defense, man. You want to get penetration and not let that tank get downhill. Because when he gets downhill at that weight and that size, it could be a problem for your defense. Get him before he gets started.
One more snap coming before juice boxes and orange slices. From deep in their own end, they'll throw it. Looking for a deep man. Pass is incomplete, and that's going to do it for the first half. That's the end of the second quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin in our halftime update. Ready to go here in the second half, and Notre Dame will kick it away. Looks like he's going to bring it out. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. Thought we'd see a little wildcat formation in this spot, and here it is. Direct snap. Turning it on. They bring him down, but that's why you give them that wildcat look to create an opportunity for big plays. He's piled up 82 yards rushing, and that should be no surprise. He's been among the nation's elite all season. They really got things moving on this drive. Second play of the drive comes from the 37. Might as well give it to him again. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. So you get stuffed on first down. You had an idea of what you wanted to do on second, but I'm guessing it's back to the drawing board now.
Yeah, you got to figure out who you are and what you are. What's your next best play? Or what is the defense going to do? If they've been aggressive, okay, well, if they've been aggressive, I'm going to throw that deep ball. If they've been sitting back, I might sneak a draw in here.
He might want another play. Scanning the field, it's Fox. Pressure coming. Sweet throw and catch along the sideline. It's it up for the first down.
Really nice pass right there. This guy's got a lot to live up to. So much pressure when you think about playing quarterback for the Trojans. Heisman winners, guys like Carson Palmer, Matt Leinart, Caleb Williams. There's a lot of people watching this guy hoping he can be the next great one at USC. When you see throws like that, he gives you the hope that maybe, you know what, he might just be.
Reads it, fires complete. And the defense had that one well covered, just a short game there.
Yeah, and listen, I'm going to move this guy everywhere. He's in the slot this time, but I'm not going to let the defense understand where he's lining up so they can double team him, put him in the slot, put him out wide. Either way, find this guy early and often.
Going to swing it on second down. Not quite in rhythm there, incomplete.
Well, tip your hat to the defense getting that incompletion, because that hasn't happened often for this guy. Completed over 70% of his throws last week. He's doing it again in this game. Can the defense continue to mix things up? See if they can maybe confuse this QB.
They've got to come up with a big play on this third and long. Quick pass to the left, trying to get it to the marker. And boy, is he close to that first down, maybe just a couple of inches short. Quick timeout by the defense there, trying to make sure everyone has the same call. So the offense is going to go for it on fourth down. A run for the quarterback. They make the stop, and he'll have enough yardage for a first down.
When you go for it on 4th and inches in this fringe area of the field in your opponent's territory, I'd be curious to see if on the next play now they're going to try and take a shot and see if they can catch the defense sleeping.
The Trojans come to the line with a fresh set of downs. Off the play fake on first down to throw. Knew where he wanted to go with it, but couldn't find his target. It's incomplete.
And we talk to teams week after week, and quarterbacks and coaches, and what do they always say, man? Quarterback's best friend is a tight end. Well, that play right there, he wasn't his best friend. You don't see a lot of drops from him, but, man, he had an opportunity to catch that one.
Got a good one going here. All tied up in the third. It's 2nd and 10. Dropping back, it's Fox. Fires to the wideout. Good route on the comeback, and he makes the catch. This senior showed some serious arm strength, firing that one in for the first down. New set of downs after the completion. Looking downfield on first down. They'll throw it to the back on the screen. There, got some room into the goal line. Touchdown Trojans! They take the lead with the 6. Like a Thanksgiving turkey, theirs being carved. No shot. They have no idea how to get in this quarterback's head.
He's on fire. Everything he's doing is working defensively. We got to figure something out. We got to try to do something a little bit different. Bring more pressure. At this rate, shoot, he's on so much fire. You might as well just send everybody. Blitz everybody, live for the results, because everything else ain't working anyways.
And for a quick update, let's go to Kevin Connors in the studio.
All right, guys, a little update on what else is happening in college football this weekend. Clemson is putting on a show offensively. It feels like this one was over when they touched Howard's Rock. They're up by 21 over South Carolina. We'll circle back. If anything big happens, you should know about it.
Thanks for the update on that one, Kevin. Let us know when it goes final. And as the ball makes its way into the end zone, it'll be a touchback. They'll bring it out to the 25. Here come the Irish, back on offense. They'll try to answer that last score with one of their own. A chance here to tie the game with a touchdown drive. Coaches talk about running with violence, running with bad intentions. That's what that looks like as he gets it up to the 32.
You just sense the frustration starting to build, not only on offense, but I think with this running back as well. He is so talented. He's had some massive games throughout his career. Just haven't been able to get him going early in this game. That was a pretty good run there. Let's see if he can turn it on here in the second half.
And they'll get it to the 39-yard line, and they'll move the chains. Passing game kept the drive moving. Here's first down. Here comes the option. Shakes off the defender. They finally get him stopped, and this veteran junior running back comes up with a nice play.
And that's exactly how you draw it up. And that's why the option's so hard to stop. QB, man, draw the defense in. Look at me. I'm the first option. Bam. Next thing you know, he pitches it, gets a positive gain down the field.
Give on the option. Not a whole lot of progress made there on the short run.
This offense is perfectly fine with a little game because they're going to make you tackle this all game long. They're going to make you think all game long. So they'll keep running it ad nauseum and just wait for that one opportunity when you don't do your assignment.
Got 3 on first down at 2nd and 7. The option look. And he runs into a wall. Maybe got it back to the line of scrimmage.
It's a veteran defense. They've seen option before. They were prepared to see it in this game, and you're seeing it on that play right there. Everybody doing a great job with assignment football, staying in their gaps, accounting for anyone who can have the football. They were ready for the pitch guy that time. They're able to make a quick stop.
Here comes this home crowd as the defense tries to get off the field on 3rd down. Back to pass, it's Knight. Snagged in the middle, it's Williams. Doesn't quite make it to the first down marker. He's a yard short.
Hey, really nice job on defense, too, understanding the situation. It's 3rd down. We're fine giving up completions right there. We're not giving up the first down. We're keeping the football and the ball carrier in front of us, and we're tackling the catch. Awesome job, and now you've set up 4th down.
On 4th down, they could boot the field goal, but looks as if they'll go for it. Looking for a push on 4th down. They stop him short of the marker, and they'll turn it over on down.
I like it. This defense plays aggressive on 4th and short, and they are rewarded. Figured they would run the football. They did. Nice job getting some penetration and stopping that 4th down play.
So they come to the line, and the Wildcat going to give them a different look. Back has it. They found a little running room out of the Wildcats, still short of the first down marker.
So we're not quite in the fourth quarter yet. We're almost there, but you're seeing the attitude shift now for this offense. They've got the lead, so they've got to be able to run the football. You're going to see a lot more of that, I think, as this game keeps going on. They're trying to wear this defense down when the game is almost over.
Might be changing the route. To the air on second down. Throws to the wideout. Got his man.
Well, he hauls that pass in. Big play for the offense. The Trojans have had such a history at this receiver position, right? You go back to Mike Williams, Keyshawn Johnson, Juju, and then Jordan Addison. There's always a playmaker on the perimeter of the field for the quarterback to take advantage of, and they've got to keep feeding this guy the football. He is dangerous.
When you're dealing with a deficit like this, it's all about somebody stepping up to make a play, and you might as well start here in the fourth quarter. They go back to work in the final period of this one. Snap to the back. The Wildcat created an alley, picked up a few, still some work to do for the first down. He's up to 94 yards on the ground, and he's been terrific all season, ranking in the top 10 in rushing. And the Trojans in a good spot here with second and short. Give to the running back. Breaks into the open. Brought down at the 21-yard line, a 15-yard pickup, and they are in prime position to get points now.
And I think this will go a long way in determining the outcome of this football game. They're able to run the football with the lead late in this game. That's a good sign for this offense.
Quarterback adjusting the pattern. Out of the shotgun, they go to the ground. He's wrestled to the ground right at the 15-yard line, and a big red zone opportunity here.
Man, it's so nice to have a guy that you can depend on. Like, this offense is built around him for a reason. Just a good running back. You can see, gets north-south, doesn't dance, picks up positive yards, breaks tackles. He's just a really good player, and that's why this offense runs through it.
To the air, it's Fox. Fires to the end zone. And he's got it. Touchdown, Southern Cal. They're now in really good shape to get back into the win column as they extend the lead here late.
And man, a lot of times late in games, you see offenses, they get very conservative, very predictable, and then they leave it in the hands of their defense. I like this execution, man. The offense continues to do what they do, and they take the two-score lead in the fourth quarter, everything going in their direction.
And the extra point is true, and they have a two-touchdown lead, up 14 in the fourth. They're set to kick it off. Do you think this crowd's going to get loud when their defense comes on the field? No reason to risk trying to field that one as it skips through the end zone. It'll be a touchback. Notre Dame has the ball and ready to get moving. This certainly hasn't been their best day, but there's no time for mistakes now. They have to execute if they want to snatch this thing from the fire. They get enough rush, and it pays off the sack at the 20. Just a great job defensively, making him go through his progressions, and he really didn't have time to do it.
And that's exactly what you do in zone coverage. You drop in your spots, you read the quarterback's eyes, make sure you take away that quick stuff, and a great job rushing the passer and getting the sack.
Notre Dame has made this second down play much more difficult after going backwards. Now the play fake. Finds the tight end. He's really close to that first down marker, but they stop him just a bit short. The Irish trying to keep this drive moving on 3rd and short. Wants to throw. It's Knight. Got his man quickly. They get him stopped and out of bounds at the 45-yard line, and the big play has this offense ready to mount a threat. They absolutely had to have that 3rd down to keep any glimmer of hope alive.
And defensively, that's exactly what I want. Make you get the 3rd down. The clock is your enemy. Multiple possession lead. That is right where I want this offense.
Back to pass on 2nd down. He's going to fire into the gut of the defense. Throwing the end zone. It's picked off. He managed a few yards on that return, but the bigger play was the fact that they forced the turnover.
It doesn't get any better for your defense. You know exactly the situation in the 4th quarter. Everything in your favor. Don't let them make big plays. How about you make a big play? Nice job getting the interception. It's not icing on the cake yet. It's getting pretty close.
Direct snap. Powers through the defender. Defense there to stop him after a gain of 1 to the 22.
And I like the first thought process right here. Run the football. We want to run that clock with the lead. Thank you to the defense for forcing that turnover, setting us up. Now if we can put a few first downs together, we're looking really good.
After picking up a couple, it's 2nd and 8. The give as they work on that clock. Picks up the first down, still moving. He's loose. Running inside the 20. Touchdown, Trojans. Once he got some room, it was over. They built a comfortable lead and trying to hang on for a Week 13 victory.
This dude has been a problem today. Almost 200 yards rushing. Rips off another long run. He has been impossible to stop. They've featured him, and Palmer, I would continue to feature him.
Yeah, I would too, David. I think he's the definition of a running back that gets better as the game goes on. The more and more you give him the football, he just seems to get stronger. He seems to get faster. People do not want to tackle this guy for 60 minutes. He is putting on a show.
And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Here come the Irish, back on offense. After throwing the pick on the last drive, need to take care of the ball this time, Jesse.
We're going to find out a lot about this.
Oh, he's got some space. That's the kind of play that can really get you going as they have a first down at the 43.
A huge gain. Probably would have loved to say this earlier in the game. Probably would have loved to have some of these runs and have a little bit more success running the football earlier. Now, I might think about maybe cranking the tempo and probably, if I'm going to need these runs, I'm going to need to go ahead and score on these runs, or I'm going to need to start chucking the football.
Making a play like that to open the drive can really get the momentum going. First down from the 43. Might as well run him until they stop him. He's got it again. Nice pickup there. Gets him the first down and sets him up at the 45-yard line. So they move the sticks on the run. Let's see what they do with this one. Wants to throw on first down off the play fake. Bought a little time. Lets it go. Caught over the middle. It's Williams. Excellent job working through the air there, finding a hole in that defense and picking up a first down.
I love when QBs break the pocket and still look to attack. Because as soon as you break the pocket, I'm thinking, oh, man, he's going to take off and run, and I might come up. But those big plays can be made down the field. Nice job by the quarterback keeping his eyes down the field.
Maybe this will breathe a little life into this offense, which has been flatlined in the second half. Here's 1st and 10. Timeout called by the defense. It's their first of the half as they'll go to the sideline and try to make adjustments. Notre Dame ready to go with another 1st down. The give to the left. Gets it past the marker. And he'll step into the end zone. Touchdown, Fighting Irish.
And a nice touchdown, continuing to fight, continuing to play. This one, it's pretty much over. Down multiple possessions this late in the football game. It would take a miracle, but nice job by this offense continuing to fight, push the ball down the field, make plays.
Looks as if the hands team will be able to recover the ball.
And this is why you put your hands team on the field most of the time, when you know it's coming, and you put those guys that are great catchers of the football. The first guys, what do? They go block. They go blow somebody up. The next guys catch the football, secure it, get your butt on the ground. And most of the time when you do this, the ball game is over.
Wide receiver going in motion. Little touch pass to the receiver. He is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose yards on that one.
Got to give the defense credit. Watching film, anticipating. They knew that this offense had this play in their back pocket. They knew about the speed of this wide receiver and different ways they were going to try to get him involved. Everybody on defense on the same page, playing together. I love it.
The Trojans have put themselves in dire straits after that last play. It's 2nd and a mile. Toss sweep to the right. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. Tommy Trojan rides with a sword on his belt and a jeweled shillelagh at his side after knocking off the Fighting Irish. Thanks so much for spending some time with us. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis, and this has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.